So Prashant, why don't you tell me something about yourself?
So, as you already know my name, I would begin with where I come from. That is Prayagraj, Uttar Pradesh. My father is an army and my mother is a homemaker. I've completed my class 10th with 97.6%. And as I had great interest in commerce, I pursued commerce with maths in class 12. I've secured rank 3 in International Commerce Olympiad and was in top 25 in ICI Commerce Quiz. Apart from that, my interest lies in public speaking. I was adjudged as the best speaker in Dainik Bhaskar Hindi speech competition. I also like to blog. I have a blog of my own with over 50,000 impressions per month. In my leisure time, I like to play basketball with my friends. I'm very grateful for this opportunity and I look forward to this interview.
All right, Renu ma'am will carry it from here. I'll come back once again.
Okay. Prashant, I saw that you have been very active debater all through your academic this thing, but I also saw a shift from Hindi debating to English debating. Any particular reason?
Actually, ma'am, I wanted to explore new domain and I wanted to improve my communication skills in English as well because I think that English as a subject is very important. Firstly, I tried my hands at Hindi because I was more comfortable at Hindi. But then I thought that, and even my teachers advised that to have an overall development, I should try in English as well.
Okay. So tell me one thing. When you are debating, what is most important?
I think three things, or what I call three C's, are very important. That is confidence, how confident you are, then content, what you are speaking, and clarity. How well are you speaking that? Are you able to make the other person understand what you want to say? So I think if these three things are on point, then your argument will be very cogent.
There is one C you are forgetting, which is when you're debating, you're also addressing a conflict. So
Yes, ma'am.
when you're talking about a subject, what is it that you will do to address that conflict that arises? I'm sure कितनी बार ऐसा होता होगा, you would be speaking about something, but you believe in something which is exactly opposite. So how do you handle that conflict, not just in debate, but also in life and the other situations?
Actually, I think the conflict only arises when you aren't aware of the other side most of the times. And when you get to know the other side, you generally tend to become, your perspective becomes wider. For example, I remember a very distinct case. The last debate that I had was on the topic that physical education should be made mandatory in schools. And I wanted to speak for the motion because I thought that, yeah, it is very important. Physical education should be a part of the curriculum. But then when I explored the other side, I saw that no, there are negatives as well. Forcing someone or coercion is not the way, is not the right way. It might lead to some negative consequences as well. So that made me realize that okay, there is other thing as well. I didn't knew it. That's why I thought that this is the only thing, or that I had the conflict. Once I was able to get the other side, I thought that you must have a wider perspective. Limited knowledge is mainly the reason behind conflicts, I guess.
Okay, fair enough. And you also have been the president of the student council.
Yes, ma'am.
So what did holding that position meant for you?
As a person, it meant to improve my skills. And for the organization, for my school, I wanted to bring laurels to them. I wanted that they would be proud of me. So from my learning, I had a great learning curve there. I learned how to handle people, how to deal with people. And actually, I learned how to deal with conflicts because a lot of times there are conflicts. Like once I was to conduct an event and there were two people who wanted to host the same event, and no one was ready to back off. Then to solve this situation, I divided the entire event into two parts and said, okay, the first half you are going to host it, and the second half you are going to. In that way, it helped me to learn problem solving and to resolve conflict.
Okay, so was it an election process or it was a selection process?
Yes, ma'am. There was an election process.
Okay, so who was the closest opponent who lost to you?
It was my friend, one of my classmates, he also had great achievements. He was international level sailor. He had great communication skills. He was also he was a leader as well. So he was a great competition, and I wasn't sure if I like before. Like he came at the last moment. Before that, I was confident I would get the position. But once he was there, I was a bit worried that I might lose.
Okay, so what was it that you think you had in you that enabled you to beat him?
I think he was a bit arrogant in that way because he used to take a lot of pride, and that way he used to look down upon others. And while addressing the teachers in his election speech, he wasn't as polite as he should have been. I think that was one of the reasons. And also, I think that I was the part of that school for 7 to 8 years. So they knew me very well. I had a great track record there. They knew what skills I bring to the table and what I would be able to do. So in that way, my experience also helped me to gain that position.
Okay, so talking about being courteous and polite, what are the other qualities that you have?
I think I am very disciplined. I think coming from an army background, I have learned to be disciplined and to be consistent. Like I have been consistently waking up at 4 a.m. for the past 7 to 8 years without a fail to study in the morning. Apart from that, I also think that because of meeting with so many new people, as my father gets transferred from one place to another, I have become much more adaptable and much more receptive to new ideas.
Okay, now tell me one reason and make it a good solid reason why we should offer you this seat.
I would say the main reason anyone would want to come into IIM Rohtak or any IIM, and the main reason that you want is someone who is academically oriented. And I think I fit or I check that mark. IPM is a very rigorous course, and I think I have the necessary commitment, dedication, and learning zeal to cope with it. I also think that I have some skills such as leadership skills, which I can use to positively contribute to all the activities and fests that take place at IIM Indore or IIM Rohtak.
I asked about one skill. You still have to point out the strongest of them.
I would say my dedication and my consistency. So I would club them together because consistency and dedication go hand in hand.
We still got two, but I'll give that to you. Over to you, Rahul sir.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Thank you. Now, Prashant, what was name any two subjects that attracted you the most that point of time when you were studying 11th and 12th standard?
Economics and business studies.
Economics and business studies. Okay. So what do we exactly mean by word controlling?
Controlling means to ensure that whatever we have planned, all the things go according to that plan. And if there are any problems or any deviations, we tend to take corrective measures so that we can achieve the predetermined goals.
Who is heading SEBI currently?
Uh, I
And what
think
is the full form of SEBI?
there has been a new appointment. Chairman of CB is Madhabai Madhabai Puri, I guess.
What is the full form of word SEBI?
Securities and Exchange Board of India.
What is the basic role of SEBI?
Basically, it was formed to for investor protection so that all the companies that are listed and the stock exchanges provide full disclosure and investors are not caught in all the things that happen, unfair malpractices that happen at the stock exchange. Mainly the Harshad Mehta scam acted as a impetus to the formation of CB.
All right. Help me understand this also. What do we exactly mean by capital market?
Capital market means all that facilities or arrangements that facilitate the exchange of or creation of long-term funds or long-term assets, financial instruments such as equity.
Give me, one example of given goods. And how is it a
As
Giffen good?
such,
Help me understand that also.
Giffen goods don't exist as such in the real world in isolation, but in certain conditions they do. Suppose there is an area where there is extreme poverty, and the only thing that the people there have is poor quality of potatoes or maize, and they have no close substitutes. So in that case, for them, that maize or that potato will be a Giffen good.
Help me understand this. As per my knowledge, Giffen good is an exception to income elasticity of demand and not price elasticity of demand. Therefore, they exist in India or across. Am I right or wrong?
So may I take some time to think about it?
Yes.
So I think Giffen goods do show price elasticity as well, because price elasticity simply means the responsiveness of demand to the change of price. So in case of Giffen goods, maybe the movement in the same direction, they have positive relation with price, but therefore there is absolutely a change in them. So I think they do demonstrate price elasticity as
Are
well.
you sure on this?
I'm not 100% sure, but from whatever I have, subsidiary knowledge I have, I think they do exist. They do show price elasticity.
What is the full form of fiscal deficit?
Full form.
Sorry, what is the formula for fiscal deficit? I take this back. Yeah.
So fiscal deficit is the total expenditure, budget expenditure, minus the budget revenue, or in simple terms, they are borrowings of the government.
Okay, good. So sometimes the gift tax is also termed as paper tax. What is the reason behind that?
So, because in terms of their revenue yield, they are almost negligible to the government's revenue. Therefore, they are sometimes referred to as paper tax, because they just exist and there is no impact of them as such in the revenue.
Okay. Now, moving further from here, Prashant, recently, a lot of things happened in Sri Lanka. What was the name of the ruling party at
Yes,
that
sir.
point of time?
So I'm not aware of that.
Which recent top story have you been following till date?
So I have followed the Sri Lankan crisis. I don't know about the name of the political party, but I have followed that issue. I have also followed the uh, presidential election that are going to happen on 18th July. And apart from that, I have followed the ONDC news and the Russia-Ukraine crisis as well.
Okay. So in Russia-Ukraine crisis, the one person held responsible for the entire crisis is Vladimir Putin, right?
Yes, sir.
But don't you think he had to do it because he had no other choice? Why am making this statement?
Actually, I think I don't defend his actions. He was absolutely wrong. Violence or invading a country is absolutely wrong in that sense. However, uh, it can be said that the NATO or the US forced him to take such actions.
What would
Earlier,
have
the
happened?
NATO had
What
promised.
would have happened had he actually not attacked Ukraine? So the question is, take this question in this form.
So then Ukraine would have taken NATO's membership. It would have become a part, and then Russia would have a security issue or security crisis, because NATO would have deployed its troops along all its borders. The Baltic countries are already part of NATO, so Russia is already surrounded by NATO at one front, and it did not want to lose the other front as well.
All right. Something happened in Pakistan, a month or so ago. What exactly happened and why did it happen?
I'm not aware what had happened in
Related to
Pakistan as
politics
such.
of Pakistan, I'm
I,
referring to.
I know about the political coup if the impeachment of prime minister that was going to happen and he had to resign, if that's what you are talking about.
All right. Can you help me with any three southern states? The names which you can recall right now.
So
Yeah.
Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Karnataka.
Now help me with the name of the rivers flowing in these three states.
So I think the Godavari flows in Karnataka and Narmada as well. I'm sure about Narmada, not so sure about Godavari, and about others, I don't have any idea.
So, apart from business studies and economics, which was the third best subject according to you that point of time?
I like accounts, maths as well.
All right. So, this particular question is related to basic norms that you studied initially, golden rule of accountancy, right? The question is usually when I get my salary, the message reads as your salary is credited with dash dash amount, right? But as per the golden rules of accountancy, credit what comes in, debit what goes out. So why that credit is written before my amount which gets credited in the salary account? It should be actually debited, right?
Yes, sir. So just to clarify, you said
Debit what?
that it says golden rule says credit what comes in and debit what goes out.
I think मैंने
So
उल्टा बोल दिया क्या?
you said, sir, just to clarify that.
Yeah.
So it is actually from the perspective of the bank. For them, it is a credit entry, and therefore the message shows that it is credited to your account.
Okay, so it was debit what comes in, credit what goes out. मैंने शायद पहले उल्टा बोला था. Okay, so taking my words back over there. Okay, good. Prashant, the final question from my side, and then Renu ma'am can carry it further. You know, you need to speak on this particular topic for 60 seconds. You can take 30 seconds time for collecting your thoughts. We need to eradicate poverty from the country, not poor people.
So may I use a pen and paper to jot
Sure.
down the points? Thank you. So may I begin? So it is widely said that poverty breeds poverty, and that statement absolutely stands true. The topic that you gave me, that we should eradicate poverty and not the poor people, is absolutely correct, because it is not the poor people who are at fault. It is their circumstances that have put them into this place that they are poor. Poverty is a concept, is a phenomenon that should be eradicated, because it leads to wastage of resources. Poor people, if given the right education, if uplifted, they can be used as the resources of a country. And everyone has the right to live. It is not that only the rich people should be there. We should work to improve their conditions for sure. And poverty is something that hinders the progress and all that stuff. But what I want to reiterate is the poor people are not at fault. It is just the circumstances. Our country or any country does not have the resources to give them the house, the food, everything to give them. If they are given the opportunity, they can help country to grow. They can contribute to the GDP. They can contribute to the production activities. And as I said, every human has the right to live. We are not someone to decide that, okay, we should eradicate poor people. Um, so that's what I would like to say.
Right, thank you. Renu ma'am, if you can start with the feedback part, or if you want to ask something else also, that's also perfectly
Just
fine.
one
Yeah.
question before we go give you the feedback. What is the second career option that you have chosen for yourself?
As such, career option is management only in the broad sense. As per course, I would say that I would most probably take a partial drop, because I think IPM as a course is something that is worth giving another shot. And I would try to improve what I have lacked this year. I would try again next year.
Okay. I think we'll start with the feedback.
You can start. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. Prashant, prima facie, I don't think there was anything wrong. You were very, very balanced, articulate, and uh, clear in the answers that you were giving, except for at some parts, you would probably bring in more examples because you were stating the facts and not giving the examples. That will give more weightage to your answers. And about the introduction part, you need to work more on that. क्योंकि आपने चालू किया. See, when we ask you to introduce yourself, we want to know you more as a candidate instead of the background and the stuff. So focus on your qualities, focus on your career goals, focus on how you have come about to this place, talk about your goals and ambitions, that. And work a little more on your strengths and weaknesses. Otherwise, for me, it seemed absolutely fine.
And the reason I gave you the chance this time, because we people are very much attached to him. For last 2 odd years, he is studying with us, and certainly, so it becomes a bit difficult for us because we get attached to the students, right? That's the case. So Prashant,
I can get it.
so हो सकता था मेरा कोई thought bias होता इस particular case में, इस चक्कर में मैंने. So Prashant, few things. एक दो चीजें मैंने जो नोटिस करी. अच्छा, पहले अच्छी बातों से बात करते हैं. तो डेफिनेटली वॉट एवर मैम टोल्ड, इट वॉज क्वाइट पॉइज्ड, बैलेंस्ड, काम. तुम सुन रहे थे अच्छी तरीके से, लिसनिंग स्किल्स जैसा तुमको सिखाया गया है पिछले 2 साल में, दैट वाज क्वाइट विजिबल. लाइक जिस तरीके से आपको ग्रूम किया गया, दैट वाज क्वाइट विजिबल. लेकिन यस, इंट्रोडक्शन पार्ट मुझे भी थोड़ा हैरान किया था कि मैंने इनफैक्ट वो पॉइंट लिखा है यहाँ पर कि बैकग्राउंड के बारे में क्यों ज्यादा लिख रहे हो, जबकि हमने क्लियरली क्लासेस में ये बोला है आपको कि you should be speaking about yourself more. थोड़ा सा मतलब वहां पर इंप्रूव कर सकते हैं, जबकि आपकी एचआर आंसर्स की स्क्रिप्टिंग भी प्रॉपर हुई है. एंड मेंटर्स के पास चला गया होगा शायद एचआर आंसर्स, गए कि नहीं?
Yes, sir.
है ना, गए ना. सो वहां पर एक अच्छा फीडबैक उनसे भी ले लेना. they'll help you add value to that particular thing, मतलब वेट on that thing. मैंने एक छोटी सी चीज थी, आपका आई कांटेक्ट बीच में जा रहा है कहीं पर. तो मैंने देखा था बात करते करते ना एक साइड में देखते हो. एक बार रिकॉर्डेड वर्जन देख लेना इसका, वाईटी पे अगर ये वीडियो जाता है तो थोड़ी मैंने 2-3 बार देखा कि आपका कांटेक्ट बात करते करते इस तरफ जा रहा है. उस पर काम करना. दूसरा, सॉरी बोलने से कोई नीचे नहीं उठता. अगर कोई क्वेश्चन पार्शली पता है, सो स्टार्ट करो उससे कि आई नो समथिंग अबाउट इट, आई पार्शली नो अबाउट इट, है ना. जैसे कि गिफिन गुड्स के केस में आई थिंक यू आर रॉन्ग. आकांक्षा कैन हेल्प अस मोर ओवर हियर. लेकिन मेरे हिसाब से इनकम इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड का ही एक्सेप्शन है गिफिन गुड्स. इनफैक्ट एक चीज इंपॉर्टेंट यहाँ पर, इनकम ये क्यों मतलब आपका ये एक्सेप्शन हो जाता है उसकी, वो भी मैं तुमको समझा देता हूँ. देखो, अपन वीट खा रहे हैं आज, ठीक है, या फिर बाजरा खा रहे हैं, तो जो बाजरा खा रहा है बंदा आज के टाइम पर, उसके पैसे बढ़ गए, उसको इनकम बढ़ गई, तो अब वो उससे बेटर फूड पे आ सकता है. वो इंफीरियर क्वालिटी ऑफ गुड था, इसकी वजह से वो दूसरे फूड पे चला गया, तो इनकम तो बढ़ गई, लेकिन यहां पर इसकी जो डिमांड है वो बढ़ी नहीं, वो कम हो गई. राजा उल्टा केस हो गया. इसकी वजह से ये एक एक्सेप्शन है. प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी में कोई भी ऐसा एक्सेप्शन मेरे हिसाब से नहीं है. है ना, एज फार एज माय थॉट। एक बार अपन इसको क्रॉस चेक भी कर लेंगे।
एक्चुअली सर,
हाँ,
एक पॉइंट है, if you would have said income effect and price effect, तो मैं यानी जो आपने बताया वो वाली बात कहता, बिकॉज इट इज एन एक्सेप्शन ऑफ प्राइस इफेक्ट कि उल्टे तरफ मूव होता है, यानी जैसे नॉर्मल गुड्स की तरह नहीं है। आपने बोला इलास्टिसिटी, इलास्टिसिटी तो यानी नॉर्मल टर्म्स में कि
एक्चुअली देखो
चेंज इन
इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ
क्वांटिटी
डिमांड का
अपॉन
टाइप ही
चेंज
है,
इन
जो तुम
प्राइस।
इफेक्ट बोल रहे हो ना, जो तुम इफेक्ट बोल रहे हो, एक्चुअली इट इज टाइप ऑफ इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड ओनली। प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड, इनकम इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड, और भी तरीके के होते हैं, एक बार जाके सर्च करना नेट पे, इट विल हेल्प यू आउट।